tell you so. Don't overdose, like no, no, no. Oh my God, what have you become? The traces of you, no, I can't see them. What have you become? What have you turned to? What have you taken? Like someone hurt you. You drink that mixture, that shit gon' hit you. No, I can't fix you, no, no. Ooh, yeah, I ran through, yeah. I feel a change in the air tonight. I saw myself in a different light.
Team Liddy, welcome to the Royal Cheetah Project. Royal Cheetah Boy, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed that. Shout out to Post Malone. He's a pillar on this project, and we're going to get into him more deep later. Easter egg all day. This is not his first appearance. I hope that satisfied. I just really wanted to highlight the moment that might have been between the both of them. Even though this is not Goku's moment, still they share that moment, that interaction. I really wanted to highlight. Hopefully that song really brought out what was probably going through Vegeta's mind, and to a lesser extent even Goku's mind as far as that concerned. And where we left off, shout out to Post Malone. We're getting to him later. He's a beast. The Sony album's a beast. Check that shit out. Every song on the album's like that. Please. I'm not here to pump gas. I'm not here to bullshit. But where we left off on Vegeta is Frieza being the asshole, dickhead, maniacal fuck that he is, taking everything from Vegeta, literally everything from Vegeta, holding him up as some kind of joke or some kind of example. And then Vegeta fucking up. and the words kind of fuck up when you fucking up not even knowing you're fucking up. Going to Earth, catching a beat down and getting everything else taken from him. As far as being having his princehood attacked in a whole different way, having his whole culture demolished, and whatever Frieza didn't demolish, Goku did, and the Goku was set up to demolish even more as far as that concerned. Vegeta being the greatest Saiyan, being the Prince of all Saiyans, being as powerful as he is, and all the experiences that he's had on battlefields and under his father, and and the command and the respect that he probably took from everybody else, was completely shitted on by a quote unquote and no name saying from Earth, right? Terrible, terrible. So that's where we left off. We're gonna get to all that. The World Cheetah Project. Thank you so much. Turn up, and we're pushing forward. All right. Goku took everything else, and not in the maniacal evil fuckhead sense, like Frieza, but just as a defender, as a hero, as a warrior cut from a different cloth. And they're both warriors. They're both geniuses in their own right. They just do things differently. And honestly, obviously, at the end of the series, Goku has a few more accomplishments and has built a more thorough legendhood or resume than Vegeta, because Vegeta kind of gets in his own way. But honestly, if you take away some of those things, the resumes aren't that different. Like if Vegeta doesn't make certain mistakes, let's say, even if you don't take away certain things, because right? But okay, so if Vegeta doesn't make certain mistakes in the series, the resumes aren't that different. They're and innately those two aren't different. They're not even two sides of the same coin. They're two sides. They're on the same side of one coin. That side is split in half. Vegeta and Goku are brothers, in my opinion. I mean, by obviously not by biological measures, but it'd be funny for it to come out that Bardock is actually Vegeta's daddy. That would be funny, and because I don't know, Bardock was getting down like that. If you take in all the history into account, even outside of the series, Bardock was getting down like that. So maybe Bardock is Vegeta's daddy, but that's just fun to think about. But we all know that King Vegeta is hopefully so his real dad. But anyways, I say all that to say that there's really not much difference between them as far as ability is concerned, or as far as not necessarily ability, as far as what they can accomplish. Obviously, they're two different minds, but Goku just does things differently, and he does things a little bit more efficiently, or better. Vegeta's a day late and a dollar short with everything he does, and Vegeta does things the hard way, and he's the best at doing things the hard way. But so that's one of the differences between them two. It's just the way they go about things, the way they approach things. Other than that, though, man, they're two dragons. It's not, one's not a dragon and one's a fuzzy wuzzy cute bear or cub or anything like that. No, they're both of the same cloth. They're both dragons, and I say that to say that on Earth, Vegeta physically was ahead of everybody coming in on Earth, and even when Goku shows up and slaps Nappa and throws him in the trash because Nappa's trash, Vegeta still gives Goku the hands for the most part. Vegeta gives Goku the hand, and Goku is celestially and divinely trained, and Vegeta still puts his fist in his mouth. Vegeta just gets jumped. He gets jumped on Earth. That's what happens. He gets his ass jumped. And I mean, even though Goku does give him work back, but it takes a lot more out of Goku to do that than it took for Vegeta to put it on him. So, but in essence, Vegeta just gets jumped. And not only does he get jumped, he gets shit in they shit in Vegeta's mouth. You know, because Yajirobe gets in that ass, Gohan gets that ass to a certain extent. Goku gets in that ass. Krillin almost got in that ass. You know, so like, but to Vegeta's credit, he was still standing. He was still standing through all that. He was still standing to the very last episode. He still had enough energy of that to the very last episode of that fight sequence, or he still had enough energy to try to get the fuck out of there. Everybody else was already down for the count, besides Krillin, obviously, but everybody else already had enough. And Vegeta was just the Energizer Bunny. Like, you cut him, you burn him, you spirit wave him, you Kamehameha him to death, you go upside his head, you put full up on his ass, you cut off his tail, he gets smashed by a giant monkey, he gets punched by the Kaioken. I mean, Gohan gives him hands, like he makes it through all that, not unscathed, but he survives. Goku was out of that fight halfway through that fight. Goku was done. So and Goku was divinely trained. So what does that say about Vegeta? That says everything about Vegeta. But pushing forward, Vegeta after Earth, no, actually, no. We're going to stick in Earth. Something really good happens on Earth for Vegeta, even after he gets his ass whooped, most definitively, which had to be completely embarrassing for a guy like that at that point. After everything we said from here to episode 0, that had to be completely the up until that point, the biggest setback he ever faced in his life. Because Frieza really doesn't give a fuck what Vegeta does up until this point. And obviously, because Frieza has other notions. But Frieza has other designs. He has other plans. So at this point, Vegeta is just out doing whatever he pretty much wants to. And by the grace of Frieza. But that ass whooping on Earth had to be a shocker for him, but we'll get into that. But beyond that, something really good happens to Vegeta on Earth, and it's akin to the whole Bardock thing, and it's very similar to that event. And I think it's really what gave Vegeta rocket power as far as his ascension into being a very competitive person in the series and in pop culture in a whole, and being recognized by me personally as one of the greatest characters ever. I mean Goku always has that shadow over him, but for me, I don't think that shadow is as dark as it used to be. And coming into Earth, Vegeta had a paper crown. He wasn't the real Prince of Saiyans. That was a psychosis. That was some kind of fake shit going on, because Vegeta didn't carry himself or didn't do the actions that were required to really perpetuate that notion that he was carrying that kind of weight. When I think of a king, I don't think of Earth Vegeta. That Vegeta was on some fuck shit, and that Vegeta was ready to take a shortcut to get in Frieza, and he got duffed. And that Vegeta is drowning in anger and in resentment and hatred, not just for Frieza but for everybody else. Because and that Vegeta didn't have any loyalty. That Vegeta was the I mean, I was a product of two different environments: the Vegeta environment and the Frieza environment, and that sucks. But that's just this guy. That's just the guy we got. But I'm not ready to place no crown on that guy as a prince of all, king of all Saiyans. And maybe in blood he was, but in title and in dignity and in action he wasn't. You know, if we look at the recent Thundercat series, the with the Lionel, he wasn't in that series is awesome. I might actually even do a vid on that series, so stand by on that. But I love that series, and then they really highlighted in that series what kingship to a certain extent, as far as to that or to the audience it was catered to, on what that really, how that progresses and what that looks like. And they set that up from the very beginning. King Vegeta didn't even really do that. You know, King Vegeta kind of fucked Vegeta all up, and he kind of fucked Planet Vegeta all up. Like, he didn't have a plan. You like seriously, you didn't know how strong Frieza was. You just gonna pull up on him like that? You dummy! You didn't do your homework. Like, you didn't know this guy. Like, and plus on top of that, your whole race was disjunction. You didn't even talk to Bardock. You didn't even know what Bardock was going through. You were just on your own. Oh, I'm the king type shit. Like, fuck out of here. like you're the reason why. You are the reason why Vegeta's gone. You know, and the culture you help perpetuate and more or less established. Like, but anyways, that's I didn't mean to get on his head like that, but I think somebody had to finally. Fuck him though, because he set a bad stage for all of Vegeta, not just Prince Vegeta, but all of Vegeta. And that raggedy power class thing they had going on was really detrimental to their survival. And they were already, like I said in episode 0, they were already destroyed before Frieza. For Frieza, just go ahead and put him in a casket. So, anyways, the Thundercat series really established from the very beginning a journey to being king, and how a real king got down. There's other instances. You know, if you're into that kind of thing, as far as like royalties and how kings of past operated, there's some pretty cool kings out there that really highlight, you know, what that role is. King Vegeta and Prince and Vegeta doesn't do that initially, and on Earth, and when he's coming to Earth, he's only the king in name, not in any kind of reality. I mean, and obviously, Frieza's King Vegeta. Frieza became King Vegeta when he turned King Vegeta into putty in the pudding. That's the real king at that moment. So I'm not trying to hear all that shit, Vegeta, when Vegeta first comes onto the scene. But then something happens. Vegeta has a awakening or a conversion, and more or less, for lack of a better word, gets baptized in ki energy, because Goku is not fucking around with him. I mean, even though Goku is at this point maybe still a little under Vegeta, even with the Kaioken training. And again, that says a lot about Vegeta, but still, Goku did enough to make sure that Vegeta didn't really have his way, and Vegeta having the psychosis that he did about who he was and about who other Saiyans were that was supposed to be to him. That was the defining moment in that whole fight, and that really had to fuck him up. Even though he eventually does take the L because everybody else goes upside his head, that exchange, one of the most iconic exchanges in the whole series, and I'm gonna say this a lot, and I'm gonna say this again, in all in anime, really set the stage for, like I said, for Vegeta to have rocket power as far as going forward, and not going forward necessarily with the Saiyan culture, but in a different way, blending the Saiyan culture with something that was not encapsulated in that mind frame, in key energy straight up. And if you know anything about key energy, I'm a big time Star Wars fan. I love that universe and I love that fiction. You know, they have the Force, and there are different levels of how the Force is operated and applied, or absorbed or utilized within that universe. My favorite Jedi by far is Galen Merrick, Starkiller. Like, he's a beast to me. Like, and but then you have, you know, like Yoda and things like that, and then also book plug, you have The Art of Peace, and that also elaborates the functionalities of ki in a very digestible way, and how things work as far as how to utilize it, and how it affects pretty much everything, how essential and fundamental that force is. Yeah, I would suggest reading that, no doubt, if you haven't yet. But all that being said, Goku, in my opinion, and I hate to bring Goku into it in this context because this is Vegeta's time, but we have to do all this to really have Vegeta shine later. So Goku is the #1 conscious force user in the whole series. If we want to stay in that way of looking at it, Goku uses the force to amplify himself and do things that are absolutely amazing. And Goku is through, I don't know, through King, is it through, I mean, definitely from King Ka's training, but even before then, from Master Roshi's training or Kami's training, or maybe he was just naturally gifted in that, you know, and maybe there were some Saiyans that were too, but they didn't really care. So that wasn't what was valued in the Saiyan culture. But Goku being the OG beast that he is a man of many talents and master of many intangible talents. And Goku has so many intangibles. Even if there was another Saiyan out there who had the same key connection in the history of the Saiyans, which is possible, they more than likely to have the multitude of intangibles that Goku brings to the table, which makes this man so beastly. But we're going to get to him later. What I'm focusing on right now is his connection to key energy. He's the most sensitive to that energy consciously in the whole series. And we'll get to somebody else who probably supersedes him in a different way, subconsciously, obviously. And I think you probably know who I'm leading to on that. But I don't want to jump in and out of names, so because I want to stay on track here. So Goku is the most conscious force user in the whole series, and he uses to amplify himself to crazy measures. And that definitely happened in that exchange between him and Vegeta. And then when he blows Vegeta away with that, something happens. Like we say, like much akin to what happened to Bardock. Something clicks. Something is infused in him. Something is open. A door is opened up. And in the series, he goes to highlight that to a certain extent. And then we get a whole new Vegeta at that point. And then Vegeta doesn't get enough credit from this point on, because with that psychosis and all the ass kissing and all the disappointments and behemoth and vitriol and whatever you want to call it that Vegeta has, and bad karma and all these negative things that Vegeta has built up to this point, he still was banking on himself as being this prideful prince or king, right? And he was going to take this shortcut to actively regaining that status. because it's not there. But he still feels that that's still his right, and that he still technically is that because it was snatched away from him. But in all realities, it's not there anymore. So Vegeta should have just left that alone and really started pounding the pavement, which he's going to do later. But anyways, Vegeta has all this going on, this psychosis, this cracked heart, this lost reality, and then you have Goku, who eventually, or who at that moment takes away everything else. Vegeta, there was no other Saiyan that could duff Vegeta. Vegeta gets duffed by some Saiyan on Earth. What? What? The Prince? What? Prince Vegeta did what? What happened? Nappa's gone. What? Like what happened? Like Riley says when Granddad gets his ass beat by the Bindu, he's like, what happened? That's what everybody's saying when Vegeta gets back to wherever he rehabilitates. Like what happened, bro? Like that was supposed to be short work, but Vegeta gets his comeuppance. And he gets humbled in the most devastating and effective kind of way, because he gets humbled by somebody that he first of all saw no idea about seeing that shit coming, and second of all, he was humbled by somebody that not even just snuck him more or less, but rivaled him in strength. And then he had that dip in the key energy, and with all those things working, with that was on top of the disappointment cake that he's already was eating for however many years long, right? Like we said, all the hate, all the rage, all the disappointment, all the loss, all the loneliness, all the grief, all the whatever you want to call it, that he developed, the bad karma, the bad actions he did to everybody else that was around him, or other planets, or other people, the bad actions that was done towards him as being a Saiyan, and the lost prince of all Saiyans, in dealing with Frieza. All these things were only topped by getting duffed on Earth and getting pushed out of a planet that he was of his shortcut to beating Frieza. Something that was not supposed to happen. It's something that was completely off the ticket, off the realm of understanding happened. So I mean, because he was on battlefields and dealing with Frieza shit since he was a little boy, and he was quote unquote the prince. So no way this was supposed to happen, right? So I say all that to say it was even a miracle that Vegeta was so determined to get to Namek, to have the balls to go to Namek. He could have quit then. Vegeta could have quit then and just said, "Man, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna go program this space pod to go into the sun or something like that." I'm off this shit. I went to Earth and got duffed by some random Saiyan I never met before. And he's not even a Saiyan. He's on some other shit. That's really what pisses me off. And I've been eating Frieza shit my whole life. And Frieza's going to Namek now, and to get those Dragon Balls, man, I might as well just let him do that, and because he's powerful, he's powerful anyway. So what the hell? How am I gonna stop him anyway? So, and I just got punked on Earth. So, and man, my life is over. I'm done. Like this sucks. Like he took everything away from me, and this last L, I just took everything else that I had, that I thought I had going for me. So, fuck Namek. I'm just gonna sit here. He could have did that. He could have did that, but he didn't, and he didn't even really. That I don't think that even crossed his mind. Vegeta took the Namek very very quickly, and we'll get to Namek. We're gonna cut the episode on this, but Namek is huge for our boy. Huge. And it's all because of his interaction, what he got from his interaction with Goku. I mean, he could have took that in a negative way, but somehow or another, his mind was clearer than it's been in a long time. And he was able to step into that void that was Namek, which could have been him just getting murked and duffed to the utmost degree. I mean, because Goku lets him go on Earth. And if Goku doesn't let him go on Earth, a lot of shit goes wrong very very fast. If Krillin murks off Vegeta at that point, we have a completely and totally different series in a very ugly and accelerated sense. So all that the big up Vegeta, and I promise we're gonna big up Vegeta even more in the next episode. So I hope you come back for that, and hopefully you got value out of this, because we will be digging into Namek, and we're gonna dig into Namek in a special way. So I got kind of something. I don't want to say special, but different, because I don't want to say special and not be special. So I got something different. Worked up for the opening of our Namek discussion. And also, eventually, we're going to get into Vegeta's influence in anime culture as a whole, or anime or pop culture as a whole, anime history as a whole. And yeah, so we're just gonna keep pushing it. So, and I think it'd be good for the younger kids to understand where this dude is coming from. Because growing up, I kind of just saw the paper champion, the paper prince, and I really didn't allow myself to see anything else. But growing older and being more mature, I can appreciate Vegeta even through his fuck ups and his missteps. There's, like I said, there's a lot of good to be had about Vegeta, and we haven't even got to it yet. So we got past his dark years, definitely, and that's what we definitely call him, his dark years, and we're push forward to the light here. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hope you got some value out of that. Hopefully it wasn't all just information. Hopefully there were some things that came up that were like, oh, okay. So, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Every video is not going to be this long, but some of them are, so you can always just pause and come back. You don't have to sit through the whole thing. I'm kind of long-winded, and I get excited about my characters and the animes that really are influential to me. So bear with me on that already. We're going to say this every time, so. And if you're not religious, I hope that you find some kind of way of meditative, reflective life and thought. But for everybody else, please say your rosary. It's very important. It's what sustained me up until this point, and it's definitely was going to push me forward and keep everybody around me safe. So I am a big advocate, and I mean, I'm not going to hit you over the head, but please say your rosary. After every video, I will be saying that, so FYI. So please say your rosary. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Continue to level up, and we'll be back for another episode. Thank you so much. See you later. World Cheetah Boy. Thank you so much.